Hello. Welcome to Franchise Time Machine. And tonight I'm going to do kind of what I thought this would be more like most nights anyway, which is do a few things that I was going to be doing anyway, but that maybe people would be interested in seeing, especially people who are new to either the park, baseball, or perfect team, and just kind of see how certain things work. Um, and so those two things tonight are. Um, I've been trying to see if I can qualify um, all six of my teams for the PTCS, which is I think the Perfect Team Championship Series, um, the PTCS daily draft category. And the other thing I'm going to do is build a roster to send through the time machine. This will be the best rookie seasons of all time. So um, doesn't matter what year, as long as it was their qualifying rookie season. And I think it'll be interesting too to see if I can fill all 25 roster positions, especially positions like second base, left field, catcher can sometimes be hard. A bullpen might be tough. Not that they don't exist, but to actually find kind of those best. Um, and these are things that well, PTS new to me since I'm new to Perfect Team starting in December. But like doing things like building this all-time rookie roster and then putting them in the game, this is how I've been playing OOTP for a long time. Um, so I'm going to do those two things, and hopefully, if anyone's watching, they find it interesting or helpful. That'd be great. So let's jump in. I thought I'd start with just kind of going over real quickly the different ways I play franchise mode. I I know one of these ways a lot of people seem to do. I have no idea if any other people do these other things. I just know I find them really fun and interesting. And I thought I'd share them in case other people think, "Oh, that sounds fun. I think I'll do that. I'll give that a try." Um, so yeah, so those ways are the first and the one I do the most often. I've done this with every version of OOTP that I've purchased so far. Is I put myself and my friends in the game. So I usually start around the time I graduated high school, and I put some of my friends kind of directly into the pros, so they go right into the draft and the minors. And then some of us I hold off, assuming like we're going to college for a couple of years, and then get drafted out of college. And so by the time we're like a few years out of high school, we're all at least in the minors and then working our way through the system. And I just find it interesting to see how the player development stuff works. And this is before there was a player development module. This was just based on it was things like, well, my understanding was the things like the coaching you get in the minors, the amount of playing time you get, and therefore like the amount of experience you get, and just see how we all progress from kind of where I started us to our peak. And and I'll show this in editor mode. You can actually like create players. Almost everything about a player you can edit. And one of the sets of attributes is the potential versus the actual. And so the potential, and again, this is my understanding from playing a lot and just kind of reading the forums and stuff. The potential is kind of like where you'll end up at your peak. And then the current is like where you are relative to that peak. And so I would design our peaks based on kind of the superhero version of myself and my friends as baseball players. And so, my neighbor was always hitting home runs when he played stickball. Like I would make him a huge home run hitter. Um, my friend who was always getting hurt, he was a super fragile junk ball pitcher. And just things like that, like super exaggerated but fun versions of ourselves that I'd put in the game and just kind of see what would happen. Um, to kind of help things along, I would go in. You can even edit the personnel. So I would go in and edit the minor league managers, the minor league pitching coaches, and just max out their attributes. They would help us develop to our potential. And so that I do almost I do every OOTP. Um, I think the longest I've done it is maybe 10 or 15 game seasons. So I wouldn't quick sim these. I would actually play out the games because I wanted to see how everyone was doing, and if especially if something great happened in the game, like if one of my friends threw a no hitter, or if I hit for the cycle, I wanted to kind of see that. So I would actually play out the games. So it wasn't. I couldn't really like fly through a bunch of seasons. So I think the furthest I got was 10 or 12 seasons, and I think the only reason I got that far is that particular version of OOTP. I think I didn't buy the next two versions, and I just kind of stayed in that the version I started in. And it was before I played Perfect Team, so I really didn't have a ton of incentive to buy it again every year. Um, but now I buy it every year because of Perfect Team. So that's the most common way I would play is the putting myself in the game. And then the second, I think this is the way I see most people playing is as like an omniscient GM. So you start a save as one of your favorite teams, and as a GM, the coach, and you run the team, you make trades. And I think it's just human nature. Like we know what's going to happen. We know which of these players are going to be good, which ones are going to be busts, who's going to get hurt. And so I think that helps you navigate. So I kind of do that to the extreme where I look up a bunch of stuff in baseball reference. Um, I within the game you can look at here. I'll show it right here. Let me put the game up. So if you go to I'll just go to the latest save. This is a save of the '86 Mets. Um, Going back in time to 1968 and replacing the second to last place Mets to see how they did. So using those players as an example, I'll show you how you can um, kind of. Well, I talked about editor mode earlier. I'll show that too. So this is how we would how I would make my friends in the game. So if you go to any player, so if you just you can do any just go to the pitching staff or the lineups even, and let's look at Daryl Strawberry. So if you go, one of the things you can do is real life stats. And so when I'm in kind of omniscient GM mode, I'm always looking at real life stats to see like which players do I want to draft, which players do I want to trade for, which players do I want to give up. So between this and baseball reference, I know everything that's going to happen. And then the other thing, so when I play, so to be clear, when I play omniscient GM mode, I don't go into editor mode. I don't change player attributes. I don't kind of mess around with that stuff. I just kind of play it almost like normally, except I know what's going to happen with the player, so I use that information to my benefit. In the first version, when I put myself and my friends in the game, this is where you can go into editor mode, and the batting ratings, they're all in here, and you can change them all. Everything that has one of these gray capsules, you can change these numbers. Um, and so the VL and the VR over here, those are the current attributes, and the potential is kind of your peak season. And so sometimes you'll see like actual attributes above peak, and I think that has to do with the you can set the variability of player development too, and so I think sometimes you can actually develop beyond what was set as the peak for that player. So I'll basically look up players and find out, okay, what's the potential profile of someone that I want one of my friends to kind of play like. And so I'll put those numbers in, and then I'll play with them a little bit, like maybe a little more power or a little less speed to kind of make it line up with the superhero version of the friend that I want to put in the game. So you do that in editor mode. Um, then a couple of the other ways I would play are um, I would come up with these themes like all time great whatever. So like what's the roster of the best left-handed hitters of all time? And then maybe I'd match them up with the pitchings have to be all the greatest left-handed pitchers of all time. I did one with switch hitters, and I did one where everyone was a shortstop, so they had to have played shortstop. But there are a lot of players who maybe came up as a shortstop, but then converted to outfield or other positions. So I was able to kind of fill out a roster and just put them in a season to see how that team would do. Um, so that's slightly different from all-time favorite. So that's where I would have a team like, okay, these are my all-time favorite Mets. And so from the history of the franchise, I pick out their best seasons, put them on a team, and then run them through a season. So I think those would all be kind of interesting to do on stream and also maybe like find someone who, like the other night we had a couple of Mariners fans in the stream. It'd be fun to like maybe let one of them pick out their all-time Mariners team. Oh, Denny rating in. Thank you, Ezra Denny. I was just watching him doing his 1959 Giants simulations. Hey, Ezra, thank you very much. Thanks for the raid. I was so what I thought I'd do tonight is I'm going to go over. I'm trying to qualify 6 teams for daily draft in PTCS. Um, it's actually a ton of work and a ton of time. Oh yeah, go find that ball cap. So I'm gonna kind of show how you look at. Did you know about the quick start games? I just started learning about those recently, and so I am kind of curious to see how they fit into like all the different ways I play. Brent 3232. So if you're really familiar with those, it'd be great to hear from you on those too. So yeah, so daily draft. I'm trying to qualify all 6 of my teams. So I bought a second license this year because when I decided I wanted to do some streaming, I thought, well, I'll just get another license and use those accounts to stream. So I have 2 licenses, and then I have the 2 alternates that I can create for each license. So I have 6 total. And I decided about halfway through week 1 of this cycle, I wanted to see if I can qualify all 6 teams for PTS and daily draft. Um, and so I thought I'd go through checking out the standings from the first 3 weeks. We're in week 4 right now, so I thought I'd set up a spreadsheet where I put in the points for each account and see if we're on track. I think right now 3 feel pretty safe that I'm going to get in. 4 seems like if I have a strong week this week or continue the trend, that'll get in. And I think 5 is a stretch, and the 6th one seems almost impossible. But I kind of want to see what the numbers look like, especially compared to the 128th place teams. They have great Legends baseball. So is that historically great teams or teams of cobbled together of various legends from like across different teams and different eras? Because that would be very much like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. So like the Yankees team is like Yankees greats. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the other thing I was to do is I was going to do a roster build to send through the time machine of the all-time rookies for Major League history. So the best rookie seasons. Um, at at each position to fill a roster. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and is that new? Because I used to do this. I used to build them from scratch. So I don't know if the it's new. because I'm really bad about like reading instructions or seeing what I just go right into the game every time I get it and just start doing like start figuring out how to do the things that I don't know how to do. But if there's something obvious like that, it's very likely I could have just gone right past it and like thought I had to build it from scratch. Okay, it's been on for 3 years and you found it by mistake. Okay, yeah. So I've been playing since I think maybe as far back as OTP 15 or so. Um, and a lot of when I get a new version, I don't really pay attention to what's new. I just go in to start playing again. So yeah, I totally missed that. I'm gonna check that out. That's great. For OTP 18 for you? Yeah. Um, I can't find the exact version because I only started using Steam around OTP 19. So I don't have the history of all the other versions. And you know, that was also probably a few laptops ago, so I can't really, you know, put a specific version on it, but it was something probably around 15. Um, so yeah, so the first version is, you know, putting myself and my friends in the game. That involves a lot of um, player creating players um, in the free agent pool and then using the editor, which I think is its own kind of fun thing to do in the game. Um, so it has it where you can play out the strike season that you can. Oh, that's awesome! So it's everything's set and you just hit start and it like you don't have to set it up to do that. The strike season's ready to go. Wow, Ezra has a CD of OTP somewhere in his closet. Ezra, it's probably on your desk. Maybe you'll find it this week when you're cleaning up to build your new stand-up desk. That's probably one way I can figure out when I started playing because I don't know that I ever had to install from a CD. So I definitely don't go back far enough for the CD era. Um, yeah, it's just push and play. Yeah, that's cool because that season is always very intriguing to me. And I think a lot of fans also think that the Expos are one of like the best teams to never win a World Series because they didn't have a chance. So it would be cool to replay that season. Um, yeah, so I guess what I'm calling omniscient GM, I think is what a lot of people do is they just, start a save of their favorite team from their favorite year and they just kind of play forward from there. But they know, right, like what's going to happen with certain players. So you can outplay the other teams. Um, yeah, so all time greats, it sounds like that's Brent, what you're saying is in some of these quick plays. But for me, it wasn't necessarily just like the team for a team, it was things like the best left-handed hitters and build a roster of those and then I put them in the game to see what would happen. Um or like the best switch hitters. And so what I realized when I started playing Perfect Team is I was doing theme teams, but I just didn't know they were called theme teams. But that's what I was doing. I was coming up with ideas of like, oh, what about a team that's all this, and then putting them together and putting them in the game. Um, and then you do not have that much time. Well, these would be things I would do, like over a weekend, or I would kind of cobble them together. So it took some time to do, um, be- because of Twitch and because I wanted to stream it. I just do it within the time I'm on stream, and um, that's been kind of a great forcing mechanism to get me to do some of these things again. Um, and then all time favorites. This is more probably what it sounds like is in the game. But for me, it wasn't just teams. Like I would always kind of scribble on my book covers like my favorite all-time baseball players and like what that lineup would look like, or but of the current players, what would my all MLB roster look like? And so I like putting those together too. And so I grew up reading. I got that thing, and I didn't read it cover to cover. I found all these, you know, really cool season stats, and um, so I had like a I probably knew more older players than a lot of my friends, and then I also had this great book called the MVPs, and it was every a profile of every person who had won the MVP and what their season was like. And so I between those two, I think that kind of formed the basis for like the players I would pick. Um, my wife would not let me have the PC that much time. you're on your you're on the PC too much anyway, playing OOTP. Yeah, I do all of this. So a lot of this I did back when I was single, and now I do a lot of this after my wife and kids have gone to bed. Um, she's more of a morning person. I'm more of a night owl, and so this is the time I have to play OOTP. Um, because if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be, watching Sports Center or, you know, just kind of being idle anyway. So to me, this is more interesting and exercises my brain a little bit. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to putting some of those together. And also maybe like reaching out to the community to see like, like we have some pretty big Dodgers fans, and Ezra's a big Giants fan. Asking them like, okay, if you had your all-time franchise team, like who would be on it, and then we can run that through. Um, the thing there is like for these all-time greats rosters and like the all lefties teams, and um, I'm kind of interested to figure out what season it makes sense to put them through. I think the easiest one is I want to put them through the 24 season because I just want to see. So, Brent, you're a Yankee fan. So, yeah, so maybe at some point um, I can pick your brain and see who would you put in your all time Yankee roster, and we can run them through. But one of the things I want to figure out is like, what's the year that it makes sense to run them through? I think one year that would be fun is 1927 because I think the 27 Yankees are still kind of the gold standard. And it'd be great to see like, how do these teams do playing in a season that they're in? Um, Yankees fan since 1965. Wow, so you followed a lot of great Yankees teams. Um, so yeah, so the seasons, I think definitely 2024, but beyond that, I think there are other fun seasons for sending these teams back into. And then revisionist history. That's the game I played um, on the stream with the '97 Mariners the other day. So that one, yeah, some bad Yankees teams too, right? That's one where because it was gonna be on stream, I decided I wanted to just kind of like create some options and put them on paper. When I would do this, I would just kind of wing it and say like, oh, like maybe I'll grab players from other teams, or maybe I'll, import players from across time. This way, like, I have a few different options that maybe, whoever, if I'm playing, it kind of forces me to be a little more structured. And if someone else is going to play, it gives them some. Sure. And then Mad Scientist is this is why, especially using editor mode, I would go in and change some of the, or a lot of the characteristics of players just to kind of see what would happen. Um, like who was it? Is it Naspace who created the cheat code player? So one of the streamers, I want to say it was Naspace. I apologize if it's someone else, but went in and into the editor and just maxed out the player settings for everything just to see what happened. Like that's the kind of thing that I would do. Just um, either changing around their settings or doing things like I wasn't asked. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. The other thing I would do is things like um, Ripley's done some. So yeah, like cloning a player. I would do things like what happens if I create a team of all shortstops, or a team of all catchers, and then one of the things I was thinking about now that I'm doing this is what if I just make a small league where each team is all players from one position? So like the team of shortstops versus a team of catchers versus a team of center fielders. Um, sound like a laptop bounty trap. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, a lot of these all-time greats teams that I was making was like, the greatest left-handers, or those sound like EVC's theme team. So I think a lot of this, like, I think the reason those things like come together is because that's just how people play the game. Um, yeah, I know Dr. Dennis. So it was 59 he used for the 64. Yeah, I think for that one though was he chose that season. I think more to try to be fair to all the teams. I just want to find the seasons that'd be interesting to send these teams back to. Um, whether the rules are favor them or not, just kind of like what would be a fun sim. So I might just take a stream to figure that out. Um, I'm thinking about things like which are the seasons that have really dominant teams. So like using the 64 as a basis, like the seasons some of those teams come from, I think would be interesting. I was also thinking seasons that had really cool pennant races. That might be a cool one to introduce one of these teams to see how they disrupt it. Um, so yeah, or even seasons like with Sosa and McGuire were hitting all those home runs. Like, what happens if we stick one of these teams in there? Um, so yeah, I was thinking about run environments for that. Um, but yeah, so going back to so this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go through the PTCS standings, not just the current for the period, but week by week to see kind of how are my accounts doing in terms of getting points in daily draft, and seeing if I am on track for getting all six in. I think I'm really more on track for four, but this is just something I wanted to experiment with, especially because I was getting a little frustrated with um, my iron and bronze, my iron teams in particular, just getting knocked out by combinator teams. I started focusing more on daily draft, and it's been interesting because to try to get that many teams qualified, that's a lot of draft tournaments, and so I've ended up treating almost every draft like a speed draft. So I try to pick all the players in 5 to 10 minutes, and then tweak the sliders a bit. Um, I let the AI fill in the rotation, the pitching staffs and the rosters, and then I make adjustments. Um, and so I'm trying to get it down to like 10 or 15 minutes per team. Um, but that's been the hardest part is just getting the sheer time it takes to do all these drafts. But it's been working out pretty well. So let me put up let me go back to let me go into one of my accounts real quick and then go to the so you don't have the money to buy all the points of players to feed a player. Yeah, so these three teams in particular for the new account I bought for streaming for this franchise time machine. Um, other than buying the account, they are all free to play. So I don't have any I haven't bought any perfect points or anything, and so just trying to do it that way, it is hard to keep up with the combinators. Um, yeah, so let me jump into here and then let me put the game on. Okay, so I mean, it's been working pretty well. Like if I go to the draft daily, I know in week 10 in particular, yeah, I actually, one of my accounts came in number one. 148 points, just edged out Mr. Audit, who is like a daily draft god. So that was pretty awesome to be able to come in ahead of him. So just by just looking at the standings as of last week, so 3 weeks out of four done. Um, this Georgia Tech on my mind theme team. I mean, I feel pretty confident they're in. Right, it's 100 top 128. Um, if I look at the period, oops. So sorry, yeah, I haven't seen this, but if you go to tournament rankings in your tournament page, you can select like what kind of tournament. And so right now we're talking about draft daily, and then you can pick the week. The data updates every Monday. So Brent, you have two pack only teams. This retired man is going to see you next week. Yeah. Um, it does seem like a lot of folks in the community are active in drafts and hopefully will make it into PTCS. It'll be fun to see familiar names in that bracket. Um, so yeah, so if I look at the whole period, that Georgia Tech on my mind theme team is second overall, 288 points. So I'm very comfortable they're going to get in. Um, and then I was going to look up the rest of the squads I have. So there's so that one's under my music lessons. Okay, so my music lessons account is actually one of the is outside looking in right now. 72 points um after week 3. And if I clear this out, I think the number you want to look at every week is the 128 spot because that's the cutoff. So I rock this, who is an affiliate, his lighter fluid team. So it's 126 points as of week 3. That's kind of the target to keep in mind. And then, so one of the things I'm gonna do is if I look at week 1, 2, and 3, we'll get a sense of how many points per week. I would assume week 4 it might be a little more because everyone's trying to slam tournaments to qualify. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna make note of that 126 is kind of the cutoff. So the music lessons account only has 72. So that's a lot of ground to make up. So already I don't think I'll get all 6 in. Um, but both of those alts for that account, when I started doing this, I didn't realize it's hard to change your account name. So I just gave them these names thinking, oh, I'll just change them later. And it turns out it's hard to do. Um, so the Hooked on Streamer Phonics theme team, that's the one where um, players who have their names mispronounced by streamers qualify. They're in 57th place with 62 points. So that one feels pretty comfortable. And then, in fact, that Georgia Tech team, I felt comfortable enough that. So Mr. Audit, who I mentioned earlier, who I just beat out that week, he gave some really good advice on the stream during PT24, which was if you feel like you've qualified and have enough of a cushion that you're not going to fall out of the top 128, go ahead and try to qualify in another category. So with that Georgia Tech account, I started trying to get into some more weeklies and see if I could qualify for weekly. But I found it hard to time those, and so I actually didn't get into many as I had hoped. Um, if this doesn't exhaust me completely, I may try to do it against next month, and then in that case, I might try to work in some weeklies with the accounts that feel comfortable. So then, Franchise Time Machine is in 154th place with 115 points. And again, 126 is the bogey. We're at 115. So that feels doable. I think I can make up 11 points and still keep up with, whatever the baseline is that I have to make. So that team seems like it could get in. And then the alts for that are um, these are the names I use as my GMs and managers when I play the base game, which is Mochi McSushi and Sushi McMochi. So one is the Low Diamond Phillips team, which is not yet a theme team, so it doesn't have TTC. They have 156 points in 62nd place, so they also feel safe. And then the Tampico Stogies, which is the name of the team in the movie Long Gone, which if you haven't seen it is probably my favorite baseball movie. They're in 216th place with 101 points. So that's a team where it feels like a stretch, but it feels doable. So I guess there's three safely in. Um, a fourth feels doable. The fifth is a stretch, and then the sixth seems like it might not happen this cycle, this period. So, um, yeah, so this might be super boring for everybody. What I was going to do is start populating a spreadsheet just to kind of see um, the number each week. And this is also something I think I've learned from Mr. Audit is to kind of see if you go week by week, you can kind of see how you get a sense of how much you need to um, stay in contention for those last 2 weeks if you are going to try to qualify another team. Um, but rather than kind of do that, I think I might just grab the numbers and then move on to building that all rookie team roster. So let me just go back to week. So it's weeks 9 through 12. So let me go to week 9. Okay, so if week 9, Mochi has 43 points and Sushi has 30 points and Franchise Time Machine has 30 points. And then I need to know music lessons has 16 points. And then the two curling teams, CA has 61, PDX has 39. Okay. So then we'll check week 10. Oh, wait, before I leave week 9, what was 128th place in week 9? So am I the only one who does this, or do you guys all also look at look at this to see if you're trending towards making it or not? I just did it because someone in a stream mentioned it. Maybe this was also from Mr. Audit. So I just started doing it, and I guess I just kind of assumed everyone does it. So in week 9, the 128th place had 49 points. So that's kind of the bogey for week 9. And then for week wait, I'm in week 10. Week 10 was 49. What was it for week 9? Week 9, 128th place was 42 points. Okay. And then week 10, I need to know music. Only 19 points. It is kind of interesting. Like, there's no reason one account should do better or worse than the other because I'm just slamming these tournaments. But for some reason, like, it worked out that way where this account was just not playing well in tournaments, and some of the other accounts were just crushing it. Like the Georgia Tech one that won the week. I had never even been top 10 in a week before, maybe not even top 25. So I was shocked to see myself up there. And it came with 50,000 perfect points. So that was a nice surprise. I did not know that was going to happen. I didn't even know that was the thing that you got perfect points for placing in a week. Okay, so week 10, music lessons only got 21 points. The two curling teams. There's the Seattle coming in, or Georgia Tech on my mind coming in first with 148. I think Mr. Audit even said that was the highest weekly total ever. I don't know if he meant within PT25 or ever, but I think he's been playing the whole time, so he would know. So that would be cool. 60. And also, I was terrible at tournaments at the start of PT25. Like I think I can say without exaggeration that I was pretty good by the end of PT24. But then when PT25 started, I was garbage in these tournaments, and I think my brain just didn't adjust to the new simulation engine and what it likes very quickly. It took me a long time, and so I was really bad at these for a long time, and now I'm starting to figure it out. So that's also part of why I started trying this experiment to see if I could qualify because I started getting the hang of it. Okay. Yeah, so most of these teams looks like I'm averaging about 35 to 40 points per week, which is not quite enough to keep up. So I must have had some big weeks for each one to have three almost definitely qualifying. So week 11, so the low diamond Phillips team got 90 points. Yeah, so that's what did it for them. So they went 30 points, 36 points, and 90 points, and that's all it takes is that one big week and you're in. Um, and then the Stogies, only 19 points. 47 points. Music lessons, 35 points. Yeah, so I'm going to take these numbers off and just kind of see. I mean, at this point, there's not much I can do. It's already headed into Saturday. There's only 2 more days of qualifying left, but at least we'll have a sense of which teams even have a shot. And then I just need to see what the 128th was for that week. One 52 points. Yeah, so the number is going up every week. So I wonder if that repeats every PTS cycle. But the 128th place uh, point total by week was week 9 42, week 2 49, and then week 3 52. So if that holds true, it is going to be harder to get these two uh, kind of on the bubble teams in. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then so the other thing I wanted to do was start um, building out this all rookie team I want to send through time. So I wonder if I should just go into the. Well, actually, I don't know if going into the game's going to help. I think maybe I just need to use baseball reference or something. Um, and then the other thing I was going to do is look up some articles to see, make sure I didn't forget any players. And then I'm going to keep track of the game scores for each season to see which of these teams, like kind of how these different teams stacked up against each other. Um, Not that I think anyone. I'm not trying to make anyone better than the others. I just think it'd be interesting to see like how does an all rookie team stack up versus an all switch hitter team. Um, okay, this is only going to show me players for this season, so I don't think. I guess Baseball Reference is probably the way to go. Let's see, BREF. Oh, I think I lost my BREF window, so I'm gonna have to open it back up. if anyone's still in the chat, I'd be curious to know like your go-to for things like list of best rookie seasons ever. I know a lot of people seem to go to Bleacher Report. So the first place I was gonna go was Rookie of the Year. That only covers um that doesn't go all the way back, but I think and also not every first of all, it only gives you two players per year, and so that might miss a bunch of great rookies. And also I don't necessarily think the best rookie gets chosen every year, so I think we'll miss a few things. Yeah, I think they do, but you think it's better to just start with the stats or to start with like awards and articles? I thought starting with the stats might be a bit of a slog and maybe too bottom up. Yes. I mean, I also know just off the top of my head, like from when since I've been watching baseball, I definitely want players like Fernando Valenzuela and Hideo Nomo, and they. I'm not a Dodgers fan; they happen to be Dodgers, but I just remember like how exciting their rookie seasons were. I also think about like Mike Trout. Um, who else made a big impression on me? Oh, of course, Ichiro. Like, it's kind of unfair to consider that a rookie season because he was playing in the Japanese league for so long, but he was technically a rookie. But again, that gives a big bias towards the modern era, so I wanted to kind of go back. But I think Rookie of the Year only goes back to the 40s, so then I'd have to find a way to find good rookies. But speaking of which, like um, Jackie Robinson, right? Like his rookie season, definitely want him on the team. Um, and then the other thing is like not every great player had a great rookie season too. So I kind of want to make sure I put in some players who had amazing rookie seasons, but then that didn't necessarily go on to do a lot beyond that. And that's where I think the rookie of the year can be helpful. Um, yeah. So here we go. Let me link this to. Okay. So here is. All right. So here's the BRF page for Rookie of the Year awards. So I just want to make sure. Oh, sorry, my BRF page is freezing. Come on, BRF, unfreeze. There we go. So yeah, so I just want to double check the position here because I kind of remember him not playing second base yet. So yeah, he was playing first base. So I want to make sure I put everyone in the right spot. So I'm going to put Jackie as my second or my first baseman. But that also means then, like, what do I do about like a Mark McGuire rookie year or a Pete Alonso rookie year? So they're first baseman. Um, so I think there's going to be like a big log jam at some positions, and then I think there's going to be hard to find players at other positions. But if I hadn't checked, like my knee jerk reaction would have been like, "Oh, put Jackie as our second baseman." And pitching staff. I think it's going to be hard to find relievers. I think there'll be a ton of good starters, and I don't know there'll be a ton of relievers. So Ezra, do you happen to know um, how to get to the sortable rookie stats on BREF? Let me start. Let me start a spreadsheet of these. You're just fooling around trying to find. If you do find them, please let me know. The thing that I find weird about baseballreference.com is when I'm in when I'm on the website, I find it very difficult to find things. So I end up backing out, going to Google, searching for that thing, and then I get the link to that thing in baseball reference. That works way better for me usually than trying to do it from within baseball reference, which doesn't seem like great UI to me, but so I mean, his stats are good, but just from a historical perspective, I don't think I can do this without having Jackie on the team. Like, it seems like too important to not have. So, first base, Jackie Robinson, 1947. And then Willie Mays. Oh, Walt Dropo. Yeah, this was a great rookie season too. I remember reading about him. So let's pull him up. So his rookie season. So see, here we go. Another first baseman. This is going to be a problem. um, 27-year-old rookie, 322 average, 34 home runs, led the league with 144 RBI, and led the league with 326 total bases. Um, 961 OPS. So I mean, he's got to be in the running. Someone add him, but I have a feeling like if they do a sort by position, there's just gonna be a ton of first basemen. There'll be a ton of starting pitchers too, but we need starting pitchers, so that's a good problem to have. But so 1950 Walter. All right, let's go back. I mean, while I'm at it, I guess I should let me let me add the spreadsheet, the list, the list I'm keeping in the spreadsheet. So Ezra, it's not letting you send me a link. Let me share this spreadsheet first, and then let me figure out how to. Hold on a second. Okay, here's the list. Okay, you just whispered it. Okay, let me take a look after I get this up here. Okay. Let me check the whisper. Do I have to have a stat head subscription to see this? No, I do. I don't have a subscription, so it's not letting me see it. But the part that's peeking out does look good. Yeah, maybe this is the push I need to subscribe. And I think a couple of the streamers have discount codes, so I'll have to go look those up. As much as I nerd out baseball stats, I probably should be subscribing anyway. Um, I think I'm going to go ahead and add. There's a few players I think I definitely want on here anyway. So in the outfield, Michiro, starting pitcher. I definitely want Nomo. Okay, so I definitely want those three, and then I don't know. This feels all over the place, but I kind of want to. Where's sorry, I'm gonna put BREF back up. Oh, also Mike Trout. I really liked his rookie season. I'm gonna put center field. I need to confirm that he played center as a rookie. So I want Mike Trout in there. Okay, this is where I'm gonna use this rookie list just to make sure that some of the players I really like who turned out to be awesome actually also had like equally awesome rookie seasons. Actually, wait, let me pause here for a second. Um, I just read something about this Dick Allen season. 8.8 WAR as a rookie. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna put him on the roster. So I had this like organized approach in mind, and now I realize I'm just doing a completely scattershot and jumping all around to different approaches. But that's just kind of how I end up doing these things. So here's his rookie campaign. Um, Dick Allen led the league in runs, triples, which I don't think was a triples guy, so that's interesting. And digit triples his first 4 years in the league. Um, led the league in strikeouts also, but total bases too. 393 OPS as a rookie. Um, so I am definitely at him. And he was still full time ace that year. So let me third base. 1965. Ezra, you must have some giants you want me to throw on here. Who had like the really killer. Like I don't want to assume Willie Mays had a great rookie season, but I do think he won Rookie of the Year. So I'm. But it's players like Dick Allen who I wouldn't have thought to add unless I had looked at the Rookie of the Year list and saw that great season. Like those are the kinds of players I want to make sure I grab. Will Clark, oh god, I really hope I hope there's enough first basemen that I don't have to like Will Clark. He's not my favorite. All right, well this might be a problem. My all my screens just went blank. Okay, they're coming back. Okay, this isn't great. I might have to start using pencil and paper. Is the stream showing my screen is black too? Because my Google Sheet screen is black. Not everything else is, but all right, I'm gonna just start writing this stuff down. And hopefully the baseball reference page doesn't go black. Maybe hopefully it's just a Google problem. Oh, Lincecum. Yeah, I'm gonna jot him down. I need to look him up. See, like pitcher Gary Peters of the White Sox would not have been on my radar. Went 19 and 8 as a rookie, 7 WAR. I'm adding him as a pitcher. Now I'm adding him to the list. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll be on the final team, but I want to make sure I'm looking at the right kind of subset of folks when I make these final cuts. All right, Gary Peters from 1963. And then some of these names, of course, I recognize from the game, but see, like this Willie McCovey season, I have to click on it because his average is super high, his OPS is super high, but 13 home runs and 38 RBI. I'm assuming that means like a pretty short season. Yeah, so he qualified with 219 plate appearances. I mean, there are 219 great plate appearances, 1085 OPS. Um, but I don't know how I feel about qualifying someone for the team with only 52 games. So I'm gonna put a pin in him for now. Oh, let me catch up with Ezra in the chat. Matt Kane, 2.54, Cepeda in 58. Posey had a yeah, Posey did have a good and catcher's arguing hard. I think catcher um I think second base might be hard too. Cepeda. Yeah, see that's more like it. 25 home runs, 96 RBI. That definitely sounds like a full season. 15 stolen bases. So let's add him to the list. I think part of this too is just going to have to be like looking up people like Ty Cobb and saying what was his rookie season like because I have no idea. And he's not going to show up here because Rookie of the Year only started in 47. So, um, okay, here's Frank Robinson, 290, 38 home runs, 83 RBI, and 56. Oh, I think maybe he's not on the screen right now. There he is, 1958. Yeah, Nolan Network. I'm putting together an all-time rookie season team to send through the time machine. Um, and just as a starting point, I'm using Rookie of the Year awards, um, which doesn't necessarily get even the best rookies in a given year. Also, it's just one per league, so there's probably some really great rookie seasons that are going to get missed. And it only goes back to 1947, but at least it's a starting point. Um, Okay, so now let me check out. Okay, Tony Oliva in 1964. That is, let me see if I can get it up there. There it is. Am I making everybody dizzy with my scrolling? 323 average, 32 home runs, 94 RBI, 12 stolen bases. I click through onto him. Okay, good. He has some position flexibility too, which is nice. So he can play, we can put him in right, center, or left. Yeah, look at that season. Led the league in runs, hits, doubles, batting average, 916 OPS, and led the league in total bases. Yeah, so Fernando's on the list. I started with just a couple of like folks just from my fandom that I wanted to include. So like Fernando, Nomo, Trout, um, Judge is a good one. We'll have to look into Judge. Um, Ichiro, but I also want to be kind of representative across eras. I want it. That's why I'm kind of going back to this using baseball reference. The bummer is Jackie Robinson didn't play second base his rookie year, so I was hoping, because I think second base would be hard to find anyway, and he would have been an awesome one to have in there. But all right, let's see. This is also giving me like a good benchmark as to like what's good enough. Yeah, Fred Lynn is one I definitely want to. When I get to the 70s, there's a bunch of players in the 70s that I suspect are going to jump onto the team pretty easily. Actually, let's just go there. I want to go there and see. So, because now this is getting in the era of players I knew growing up, but I just don't know their rookie seasons. And I know Fredlin did win the Rookie of the Year. Um, yeah, this is a sick rookie campaign. 331, 21 home run, 105 RBI. Let's check out the details. I kind of thought Robin Yount won a Rookie of the Year too, but I don't see him on here. So, but Fred Lynn is a good call. I also want to get like the players who were kind of one hit wonders, like Mark Fidrich. I'd love to have him on the team. Yeah, I apologize. My system's getting super laggy, so it's taking some time for some of these pages to come up. Yeah, I always think this is interesting when Fred Lynn's name comes up, is that he was drafted by the Yankees. Yeah, sorry everybody, my system is really slowing down and it's not even letting me scroll yet. So I'm gonna hopefully let it finish loading the page and it'll let me scroll. Oh, I guess it's these ads that are taking up. some of the time. All right, so here it is. Led the league in runs with 103, led the league in doubles with 47, led the league in slugging and OPS, 550, 566 slugging. So he seems like a good one to pencil in at center field. Yep, that's a good call, Nolan. I meant to ask you, so should I call you Nolan or Nolan Network, or do you prefer the entire The Nolan Network podcast? See, especially with first base being so crowded, like a season like Eddie Murray, 238, 27 home runs, 88 RBI, like that doesn't, I don't think that comes close now. Um, so there's Fernando. I think he's a shoe in. See, I'm gonna keep this Ripken season in the back of my head. I have a hard time putting a guy hitting 264 on the team, but 28 home runs and 93 RBIs, and I'm assuming he was playing really good defense in the field. He might end up making it on. Oh yeah, I've got to put Gooden's 84 season. Yeah, I can just click. Okay, that's a lot easier and shorter, so I appreciate that, Nolan. Um, I think it's hard not to put this McGuire season, and I think because we need catchers, I think this Benito Santiago season is probably going to be in the running too. Let me see if my Google Sheets page is still frozen because I'd rather just put these into the sheet. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me catch up here a little bit because I've got some names that. So third base, Dick Allen. Starting pitcher, Gary Peters. Outfield, Frank Robinson. Ezra, if you're still on, do you happen to remember what position Orlando Cepeda played his rookie year? I'm gonna jump back to Baseball Reference to look it up, but I thought you might know it off the top of your head since you're a fan. You just don't want to assume that their rookie seasons they played the same position that like we kind of know them for. The Jackie Robinson was a good reminder of that right off the bat. Hey, Twins 34, welcome back. We are doing a roster build of an all-time rookie season team that I want to send through the time machine. And I don't want it to have too strong of a players from my lifetime bias, so I'm using baseball reference to go back to look through some historic rookie seasons. All right, this is good. Cepeda gives us some roster flexibility. It looks like he played that year first, left, and third. So let me go back to the list. As a Twins fan, you'll hopefully be happy to hear that we're about to add Tony Oliva next. So yes, I can look up games that have been played, but in the season, one of the columns just shows what positions they played each year. So I just use that as a quick way to check. I will go double check though because I don't want to put someone to third if they only played two games there. So no, that's a good reminder that I should use that. That and there it goes again, and it's coming back. So maybe does anyone know if I just add more memory to my laptop, will it help with things like this, or is it like a bigger thing? Like, do I need a better graphics card or something? Because this isn't an old laptop or anything, but I'm sure I'm just overstraining it with the VTube Studio and OBS and everything running at the same time to stream. I have no idea what my specs are, which is probably part of the problem. I just had a laptop and was playing OOTP on it, and then was watching streams on it, and then thought, I'm about to do all this stuff in the game. Maybe I'll just go ahead and put it on YouTube. And then someone said, oh, you should just stream it and then put the stream on YouTube. And so here we are. It may very well be a Dorito chip I have in here. It's probably not an impressive laptop. It's an Aspire 5, an Acer Aspire 5. All right, I'm switching back to BREF because at least that is not blacked out on my screen. Mm. Okay, so I am going back to paper and pencil for now. All right, so yeah, so I am not super computer savvy. So I mean, are these things the kind of things that it will improve if I add more memory, or is it like a bigger problem? Um, so I was hoping Johnny Bench could be a candidate for catcher, but see, here's a rookie campaign. It doesn't blow me away. 275, 15 home runs. The 82 RBI is nice though, and I'm sure he was playing amazing defense. I will pencil him in for now in case we don't find a better catcher. I also have that Benito Santiago 1987 season. I think this has 16 gigs. So if I go from 16 to 8 to 16 to 32, does that help? I mean, doubling sounds good, but the Carlton Fisk season. Yeah, 293, 22 home runs, 61 RBI. The 7.3 WAR is nice. Yeah, so at least we have a good list coming together of catchers. I like that. So we'll go Bench, Fisk. If I can squeeze in 64, that's even better. Okay. You have 64 gigs on your desktop, and I'm assuming yours doesn't black out or freeze during streams like this. Uh, so this is the kind of season I'm on the fence about. Tom Seaver. I mean, the reason he went 16 and 13 was he was on a 100 loss Mets team. So I don't necessarily want to ding him for win loss. So let me get a closer look at his stats here. I mean, of course, I want him on the team because I'm a Mets fan, but Oh wait, that's value pitching. Where's regular pitching? Okay. 16 and 13, 201, 51 innings, 170 strikeout. I dropped my pencil. Ugh. All right. Oh, look at that. It totally screwed up my VTube studio. Let me readjust this. There we go. There we go. All right. 1.2 whip. You can run a ton of web pages, stream on OBS, run OP 24 and 25, and still have no issues. But after memory, your video card will be the next bottleneck. Yeah, and I'm certain this does not have a powerful video card. Um, I mean, once you start talking about replacing that, is it better to just get a new laptop? Video card and laptop is a bit harder to upgrade. Yeah, okay. See, I just assumed video card wouldn't be a big issue because I don't think of OOTP as being like a video heavy game, but I hadn't really thought about the whole streaming part because when I started playing on this laptop, I wasn't even thinking about streaming. I wasn't even playing Perfect Team, so I wasn't even thinking about Twitch or drops. So yeah, so that's part of the problem. I think that this laptop is from before I was thinking about any of those things. So I think for now, I don't necessarily think this Tom Seaver season is going to make it in, especially compared to some of these other pitching seasons we've been talking about. But are you connected via LAN cable or Wi-Fi? I am connected via Wi-Fi. Is that also a big drain on my system? All right, so this Ripken season is still a question mark. Um, so talked about relievers. Any faster upload for seeing if connected LAN? I don't necessarily know how I would do that, but that is good to know. So this Steve Howe season, 7 and 9, 17, 1980. Before I think this is still before closers were huge, right? So 17 saves was probably pretty high back then. If you can go desktop, you get good desktop. That's for generation. Monkey, otherwise laptop. Yeah. So again, I got this laptop when I was just playing base game and wanted to be able to move around to do it. But now that I'm streaming, I think a desktop might make sense because I'm always streaming from the same spot in the house. Okay. If you guys don't mind, I may reach out to you guys when the time comes. 'Cause I may want to look into upgrading my hardware since I'm going to be doing streaming. So yeah, so 17 saves, doesn't say led the league in anything. 1.24 whip isn't super impressive. You got a very solid desktop with Black Friday last year for 500. Okay, yeah. I mean, if that's the price range, I'd definitely be down for that. So I guess I will just keep an eye out. Um, yeah. Was if you don't mind my asking, Nolan, where was that? Like what store was that, or was that like an online thing? Because I have noticed um Costco has some good deals on computers, but I didn't really look at the specs very closely. So they might be trash, but Amazon, okay. I will keep an eye out. So now we're getting to the era where, like, I actually remember some of these Rookie of the Year awards. You got your PC through iBuyPower and used the firm to pay for it. Paid 100 each one for 24 months. Okay. Do you do a ton of other gaming though, Twins, besides OOTP? I mean, I say I don't play games right now, but I mean, I guess that might change too. And if Civ 7 ever comes out, I'm sure I'll play a ton of that. Oh, why did it go all the way back there? Not really, but that PC can handle it. Okay. So did you get that much um, computing horsepower specifically for OOTP and for streaming OOTP? Oh, and MLB The Show. Okay. Oh, here's the second baseman. I forgot that Chuck Knobloch won a Rookie of the Year. It's kind of a light hitting season at 281, but I'm sure the 25 stolen bases had a lot to do with it. I'm going to jot his name down just in case, because second base I think is going to be hard to find. I think the other thing I might have to end up doing is just look up really great second basemen and then see what their rookie years look like. See, outfield's probably going to be pretty crowded. So I don't know if this David Justice season would make it, but 282, 28 home runs, 70 RBI, and then 11 stolen bases to boot. It's not bad. You got it for gaming, but your friends quit the games that you used to play. Okay, so Costco does have some lower to middle end PCs. I and correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of assumed that if I'm only playing OTP, but of course this the streaming and the OBS and stuff might take up a lot more horsepower than I thought. I kind of assumed I could get away with a lower to middle end PC if I were to upgrade. Oh man, I forgot about Tim Salmon winning the Rookie of the Year. Oh, I'm gonna add Piazza to the catcher list. Yeah, I think first base is too crowded for Eric Karros or even Jeff Bagwell. I mean, Bagwell had an amazing career, but 294, 15 home runs, 8 RBI is probably not going to cut it at first base. Oh, Twins 34. Would you like to make a case for Marty Cordova? You hardly remember Cordova. I mean, he had a good rookie campaign, but I think left field is going to be a power position. I don't know that 24 home runs, 84 RBIs, and an 839 OPS is gonna make it. Okay, as a Georgia Tech alum, I do think Nomar's got to be on the short list for shortstop. Uh, um, yeah, led the league in hits at 209, triples with 11, 875 OPS. I mean, I'm penciling him in on the short list for shortstops. After the 94 season, that strike took away your love of baseball. So until the mid 2000s, you hardly know anyone of the Twins. Yeah, I have a few different gaps in my baseball knowledge for sure, based on life events. Okay, as a Mets fan, I do not like the Yankees, but I do have to check out this Jeter rookie season where he hit 314. So he also chipped in 14 steals. I mean, I guess I have to leave him on the list for now. I definitely prefer to take Nomar over him, though. So I also I haven't seen this movie, so Junior plays a bad guy. That that seems that seems a little miscast. That's funny. Um, you know the little trivia things that scroll in the game when it's like loading up things or um I saw that I jotted it down somewhere. I think in 1904 there's a team that had four starting pitchers that had 20 or more losses. I was thinking that's a team I want to run through revisionist history and see if by adding some good players around them, can we turn those 4 20 game losers into maybe even 20 game winners? Although, if you're losing 20 games, I'm sure there are bigger problems than run support, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Oh, Kerry Wood. That I really liked his rookie seasons. I'm going to put him in as a potential starting pitcher for this team. I I don't think it was the Cleveland. So I want to say it was like maybe a Philadelphia Athletics or but it could have been. I don't know. I have to go back and check. Like those trivia things go by so quickly. All I managed to catch was that they lost four pitchers lost 20 games. But I think it's enough to go on to look it up. And I think it was 1904. Who was the other fragile Cubs pitcher? Um, I don't see him on the rookie of the year list, so maybe he didn't have a great rookie season. But was it Mark Pryor? We'll look him up. Oh wow, he had a really short career. Wow. So okay, he had like an abbreviated rookie year and then an 18-6 full year, so he doesn't really fit the profile. 1904 Washington Senators, maybe. Let me check. They did lose 38 games. Or I mean, they only won 38 games. Let me check out their pitching stats. Okay, this team only had three 20 game losers, so it's not them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the stat said four 20 game losers. But If I'm pretty sure it's the 1904 season, let's just check out the 1904 season. Beanie Jackson. Oh, maybe it was the Phil. I did mention. Oh wait, okay. The Philadelphia Athletics did not lose enough games for it to be them. Let me check out the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies had one 20-game loser, so maybe I misremembered the year too. Then, uh, yeah. What if I just look up in Google four 20-game losers? Four 20-game losers. A team of four 20-game losers on the Society. What's this called? Oh, Saber. Yeah, okay. The team of four game losers. The 1905 Boston Beaners. I had the year off by 1 year. I mean, just by having the name the Bean Eaters, I think this definitely has to happen. But I kind of like the idea of switching the premise from trying to get a team that didn't win the World Series to win the World Series to take a super terrible team and try to make them better. Four starters, four 20-game losers. Irv Young. Well, I mean, at least he went 20 and 21. Irv Young did. Vic Willis 12 and 29. Chick Frazier 14 and 21. And then Irvin Wilhelm 3 and 23. Yeah, one 20-game winner and four 20-game losers. So yeah, I was thinking this turning around this team. But the thing is, like, I'd want to keep the because I kind of want to see can we turn them into winners. So I don't know how much of a problem the offense was. And of course, BREF is freezing up on me again. Tried to close some windows to see if that helps, but it does not seem to be helping. Oh, here we go. Oh, come on. Scoot up a little more. You're almost there. Man, if this keeps up, I might just have to shut down the stream tonight because this is just painful. It's painful to do. I'm sure it's painful to watch. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see. What was going on here on the offensive end? I mean, the batting averages aren't great, but they don't seem terrible. It's hard to tell too because of the era, but um, maybe let me go to the league for that year and see what it looked like. Okay, so yeah, so when I do that, it's the I think it's the browser that's maxing it out. So I probably have something open that's sucking um CPU usage, but I just closed a few things. Maybe that'll help. 51. I'm also using Chrome. Maybe I should not be using something else. So 51 and 103. Oh, Chrome eats a ton of RAM. Okay. What browser would you recommend? I'm open to suggestions. Okay, here are the team stats for offense. Let me sort by OPS. So I guess okay. I mean, that might be the problem. I thought it was the Boston Bean Eaters, but the Boston Nationals are bottom of the league in OPS, so it's an offensive problem. You use Chrome, but maybe Opera or Firefox? Okay, I might look into that. Because that's something I can do now if before I add more memory. But so I also thought the interesting about doing revisionist history with this team would be it's 1905, so I don't necessarily know how to fix it in that era, but it would be fun to try. Again, without touching the pitching staff, because I want to try to turn those 20 game losers into 20 game winners. So, anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked, but it was a fun sidetrack. This is something I've been noodling on for the next game night. Yeah, I never heard of such a thing, but I guess it makes sense that it happened in the dead ball era that you have 4 20 game losers. I just didn't think it'd be basically their 4 pitchers. All right, back to Rookie of the Year award winners. I think we're creeping into the 90s at this point. Okay, so there's Ichiro. Oh, I forgot about this Dontrell Willis rookie year. That's a pretty good one. And he was fun to watch pitch. I'm putting him on the short list for starters. I wonder if this isn't a well, this Rafael Furcal season. I'm kind of curious to see if he played any second base. Yes, he did. Let me see games by position. Yeah, 110 at shortstop, 31 at second base. So I would not feel great about putting him at second, but unless we start finding some second basemen, it might be necessary. I'm just going to make a note that I'll call him second base eligible for this. Plus, we do need some speed at the top of the lineup. Yeah, I think the pitchers will be fun. I think like Kerry Wood, Nomo. I mean that's Fernando. I think that's a good start to a pitching staff. Pedroia. Let's check him out. for second base. Yeah, let's do that. Let's check him out. That is a good rookie year. 317, 823 OPS, 39 doubles. Like nothing jumps out, but it's solid, and 317 is really good. So yeah, good call. Thanks for that, Nolan. I'm going to put him on the very short list for second base right now. Joe Morgan. That's a good one. Oh yeah, the other person I wanted to see, not for second base, but I just wanted to see what Robin Yount's rookie season looked like. Again, not for second base, but it came up earlier, and I kind of remember him having a good rookie season, but I might be mistaken because he did not show up in any of the lists I was looking at. Yeah, okay, so he only hit 250 his rookie season, so he didn't really took him a little while to develop as a hitter. That's good to know. Let's look up Joe Morgan. Who's this other Joe Morgan? So 1965. I mean, it's solid. 271, 791 OPS. Led the league in walks, 20 stolen bases. I think I'm still taking Pedroia over this, though. But I will add him to the list. I mean, part of this is do we then just start going through like the Hall of Fame second baseman and see who had a good rookie season? Okay, I'm too tempted to. Now that I saw the top of this list, I kind of want to start at the top now. Hmm. These are all really good rookie seasons, but I don't know that any of them for their position are. I mean, the one that jumps out is Pete Alonso, 53 home runs, but you could also make a case for McGuire for the same reason. Hey, D Block, welcome. I know it's getting late here when D Block joins in from Germany. So D Block, what we're doing is I wanted to put together an all-time rookie season team to send through the time machine, and so we're bouncing around suggestions and specifically second base, catcher, someone to fill. Oh, this season is good. 308, 26 bombs. So yeah, so I guess he didn't qualify in his 21-year-old season with only 113 plate appearances. So in his 22-year-old season, 308, 877 OPS, 26 home runs, 40 doubles. I think that puts him in the running for shortstop. Yeah, Pedroia was suggested, and he right now it looks like Pedroia is our leading second baseman candidate. So I think, yeah, so yeah, 308 solid. I think 337 was from the season that didn't qualify, but I think I'd also look at it and say that those two seasons combined are really good start to a career. Yeah, no, you were looking at the right home run total, just the average. I think you were looking at the previous year, but still 308, 26 home runs, especially at shortstop. That's pretty solid. Chris Bryant at third, that's a solid season, but I think that Dick Allen season at third is going to be tough to beat. Yeah, Posey came up, Piazza came up, also Johnny Bench, Carlton Fisk, and Benito Santiago. But there wasn't like one season out of all of those that really jumped out yet. Yeah, like I really want to take DeGrom, but this rookie season, like I'd be picking him based on his or cherry picking his healthy seasons in his career. I don't think this season's necessarily going to cut it. Yeah, so Pujols, I wanted to check his positions because it would be great if he had enough third base that year to qualify because there is just such a logjam at first. All right, so his rookie year, which is great, 37 home runs, 329 average, 1013 OPS, 47 doubles. Um, he played first, third, left, and right in DH. So let me see games by position. Oh, rookie first base, Kent Herbeck. Oh yeah, I need to look that up. Let's check that out next. Games by position for Pujols. Hey, he played more games at third than anywhere else, so that gives us some flexibility. And actually, third. I mean, 39 in left, 39 in right. That's 78 in corner outfield. I don't mind putting him out there either. So let's definitely. I think Pujols is a lock for the team, but let's figure out where to put him. Because right now, I still like Dick Allen at third. Yeah, but Pujols is on the team for sure. That position flexibility helps a lot. And then, oh, Herbeck, 23 bombs, 301 average, 92 RBI. That's pretty solid. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting. So, I think the list helps, but it also misses a lot of players who came in second and third. I'm also kind of now I just want to start looking up some Hall of Famers, just seeing like Mickey Mantle. What did his rookie season look like? I have no idea. So I guess he would have qualified in this 19-year-old season. Oh yeah, Chipper Jones, Nolan. Good call. Let me check him out next. So yeah, if he if we had jumped right to his 20-year-old season, 924 OPS leading the league, I think he would have been a candidate. But I think that 51 year is probably his official rookie season. So let's look up Shipper. 23 home runs, 265 average, 803 OPS. Yeah, I think he's another one of those guys who he really exploded in his second year, right? When he 30 home runs, 309 average. So based on that, I don't think we can take him, but that was a good call though. I like the Kent Herbeck suggestion too. That was good. I mean, if we go all the way back, who are like the all-time second baseman? We should just start looking them up, right? And seeing if any of them had a good rookie season. Because a lot of them will precede the Rookie of the Year award. So, like Rogers Hornsby, right? We should look him up. Uh, I don't know what his rookie year looked like. Does anyone know? I have no idea what we're going to find here. 313 average, 814 OPS. I mean, the era is so different; it's hard to gauge it. But I mean, that seems like a solid rookie season to me. Klein, Klyox, Doran. Yeah, Bill Doran. I'll let you get Bump Wills. I think a lot of these players, like we just know them from their careers or their peak, and I have no idea what some of their rookie seasons look like. 287, 28 steals. I don't think he bumps off Pedroia though. Um, oh, what about Ryan Sandberg? What was his rookie season like? I know what his MVP season was like. And was it with the Phillies? Would it be with the Phillies? No, he did not qualify with the Phillies. Just six plate appearances. 271, 32 steals. I mean, that's decent, but I don't think it's going to make the cut. Um, what about like an Eddie Collins? And second base is tough to fill. Yeah, see, his second full season, 347, would be great, but he would have qualified as a rookie in his 21-year-old season. He only hit 273. Um, what about like a Rod Carew? And I don't even know if he came up playing second base. So he did come up playing second base. 292. not a ton of power though, so I don't think I still think Pedroia is in the driver's seat here. I mean, I'm just gonna keep plugging second baseman and see what their rookie years look like. This is great. I'm learning so much about these players' rookie years that I never would have thought of. So, what's the qualification for plate appearances to qualify? Because it's either this 326 season, which is good, or this 361 season, which is great. So, Nap Lajoie might be our second baseman. Or I wonder, do we just make it the best rookies from the Rookie of the Year era? I mean, that could be one way to do it. So we don't have to dig through all this. Although I do like the idea of mixing in some old school players with with more current players or contemporary players. All right, I'm going to probably turn into a pumpkin pretty soon, but I do appreciate all the help from chat and trying to put this lineup together. Um, I think offline through the course of the weekend, I'm going to try to finish putting this rookie roster together, and then next week maybe send them through. I I I want to run them through 2024 first. So twins, I actually looked because I've been trying to collect people from my phonics team. I've seen both pronunciations on BREF as being acceptable, and they're both closer, I'm sure, than how my friends pronounced it when I was growing up, which was Nap Joy. So I'm going to start looking for someone to raid into because I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. But this has been super fun. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a good time too. Um, I guess I should just look up. Watch out with advertising pictures don't get banned on Twitch. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I guess they show up because I'm not subscribed to Baseball Reference. Is that what happens? Raid into Alf. Once I started this, I did want to raid into Alf someday, but let me see if anyone's streaming OOTP 25. Or D Block, are you about to go on anytime soon? Oh, also use an ad blocker. Okay, great. You are not going on anytime soon. Okay. Yeah, thanks for those tips like that. I'm so new to this. I don't know anything, so I appreciate it. Yeah, no one is streaming it, but you said Baffle 99 does sometimes, so maybe we should just raid into him. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Is it exclamation point raid Baffle 99? Backslash raid. Thank you. Slash raid or backslash raid? Slash raid? Slash raid. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for your help in putting this roster together. And I will see you guys next time. Ooh, it counts down and then I hit raid.